What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only AskSaidIt.com. This is Ask Said It Radio. And I have the most sheer delight exclusive today. You guys do not even understand. I am so on like cloud 13, 15, 28, somewhere up in the clouds. I have the voice, the talent, the wonderfully, beautifully talented Samantha Newark is live on Ask Said It Radio. Samantha, how are you?
I'm great, honey. How are you doing?
I am fantabulous.
Oh, good. This is so lovely. So nice to chat with you. A true real-life gem girl.
Yes, I am so a gem girl. Like, I was just reminiscing today and just going through, my notes and everything, and I cannot the sheer and utter disappointment when we moved to Georgia and none of the stations played gem. I was beyond life. I was that was it. I was so beyond bummed. I was like, you know what, the one show. You guys can't even give me that.
I know, right? I relate to that because I grew up like having to move continents. I lived in England and then we moved to Africa and then back to England, and I just learned I couldn't get attached to anything because, they certainly didn't have the same TV every place
I
that I
know
lived.
it. Yeah. Oh my goodness! But I definitely want to say thank you so much for reaching out to me and for us connecting. This is just I'm so elated.
Oh, I'm so thrilled I could.
So
thank you for the invitation.
Oh, no problem. So, sound and sights and the voice of Gem. It's just I don't even. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go through my questions because I'm just excited.
You're so cute.
But like I said, thanks for being here. But I want to know, starting off because like you were saying earlier, and I did my research on you. You came from London, England, to the United States. What was that transition like for you?
It was pretty hardcore. I remember, I was excited, obviously, but it was culture shock for sure. We're so very, very polite in England. And when I came to American schools and kids were like talking back to their teachers, and it was, I just never seen anything like that. I kind of grew up with like you stand behind your desk and you wait for the teacher to tell you to sit down, and so it was took a lot to get used to. And also, you Yanks talk really fast. I remember having to ask everybody to say things over because I couldn't get it, So, but yeah, it's lovely. And I've often said I feel so grateful to have grown up in both places. I feel like I got the best of both worlds.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely. Okay, so when did your interest start to peak in the world of entertainment?
Well, I've never been one of those people that did not know what I wanted to do when I grew up. It all happened when I was about 6.5 or 7 years old. I was living in southern Rhodesia at the time, which is now Zimbabwe, and a lot of British people were immigrating over there, and so we did, and I saw my parents took me to see this little girl sing. She was a huge star, actually, in England and Scotland, and she'd won this talent competition, this televised talent competition, like week after week after week, and she was amazing. So my folks took me to see her, not knowing I had any interest in music whatsoever, and I literally had an epiphany when I saw her and knew that's what I wanted to do what she was doing. And that's all I knew. So I wanted to do exactly what she was doing. And it was strange, like not even, I think less than a year later, I was performing on the same stage, that very same stage. And it all kind of took off really quick, memorized all her songs. And my parents started putting me in talent competitions. And I just kind of started from there. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so even as a young child, that's 7, 8 years old, that age range, you jumping up on stage, what was that like for you? Do you remember, were you nervous? Was it just, did you feel like you were at home?
Yeah, I was fearless, and I remember it's funny how when you get older, you get more and more self-conscious, but I was the little kid in school that got in trouble because at recess, I would get all my friends together, and I would make them sit in a huge circle outside, and I would perform for them. I had held them captive for like the entire recess, so that I could sing my songs to them. And I look back, I'm like, who was that little girl? She was so fearless. Like I had this desire to perform and to reach people and connect with people, when I was a little kid. So it's funny.
Definitely. So as time was progressing and going on, and you started doing auditions, what was that? What was that experience like for you? From transitioning from doing live type shows to now you're memorizing lines, and now you're in front of casting agents.
Right. It's to be truthful, and I think a lot of people that are creative, it's just a part of the business that you learn to deal with. But of course, it's really intimidating when you walk into a room of total strangers, and most of the time, when I was first starting, I was a child, so you're thrust into this adult world, and you're sort of told to perform on cue, and you kind of get used to it, but I can't say it's ever really normal. It's kind of it's a very weird thing. I don't think it's very normal at all, but it's just kind of one of those things you have to do. Yeah, but voiceovers are cool. I love that whole medium so much, and actually the audition process was a whole lot more less freaky for me, because it was just myself in a booth, usually with the director on one side of the glass, and your copy, your script, and headphones, and so that world, it was more intimate, and I like that. But sitting at a big conference table with a bunch of adults, and even when I was an adult, was very intimidating for sure. Yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking.
It's a little bit, but you were a little firecracker. You were a firecracker. Like you said, you already knew your purpose.
Exactly.
And that is very key with a lot of people. That today, I think a lot of people don't know their purpose, and they don't know why they're here. They're doing things, and it's without an aim. But that is phenomenal. That you already had your purpose within you, and you were sure of it.
Absolutely.
Even at that very young age.
And thank goodness for my parents. They were incredibly supportive, and they, my dad had never managed an artist before. He did a bunch of different things when I grew up, but he saw something in me, and so did my uncle. But my dad became my manager, and he took it on like a full-time thing. So I literally became the family business from the time I was like 8 till I was about 16. Yeah, and that's what we did.
So in conjunction with doing auditions, plays, everything in between, you were recording. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Were you
always
also
had to have demos and things like that, but I wasn't recording my own songs until I didn't start really songwriting until I was about 26. And I heard Tori Amos' Little Earthquakes album, and it was another one of those moments where I was like, oh my gosh, I feel this in my soul, I have songs in me, and it was the same sort of thing from when I was little. I just saw this new adventure that I wanted to go on, and so that's where that all started. And then I started to record a lot of my songs, but
yeah. Cool vein. So, okay, so the main, let's just jump into it. Jam. How did Jim come to be? I mean, out of thousands, every year, hundreds of thousands of auditions, hundreds of thousands of shows get pitched all the while. How did you end up with Jam?
I often ask myself that. I just, at the right place at the right time, and obviously, having paid my dues since I was a little kid, it wasn't like I was new to the business.
Right.
And it was just one of, hundreds and hundreds of auditions that I went on. But actually, it was my very first animated series. I'd never auditioned for an animated voiceover before, so it was new in that regard.
Right.
And I think all of Los Angeles came out and auditioned. Well, it was a pretty big deal, but I was oblivious, which was probably awesome.
Yes,
like,
that probably helped
another audition. Yeah, it did, and I walked in there, and it's funny too because I remember when I left the audition, I didn't think I did very well, which is so strange. I'm really hard on myself, but I remember leaving going, I don't know about that one. Yeah. Oh well, maybe I'll hear it, maybe I won't, and then obviously I booked it, and I'm still here all these years later talking to you guys about Gem, which is just like this beautiful show that touched so many hearts, really reached so many hearts in a really beautiful way. So
it really did.
Yeah.
And just as like a gem fanatic, as a child, I loved the empowerment that Gem actually symbolized. For those of you listening that don't know who Gem is, you need to get on Google like yesterday, okay? You need to go on Google and find out about Gem and the hologram and stop playing with life. Okay, that's the first off. And what I really appreciated about Gem was that it was a positive program, but it was also fun.
Yeah.
And it was girly and it was glitzy, and from the girls' home to actually going and doing performances, but it was always a positive message in that.
Yeah.
And it also it just helped. That Gem made you feel like you were a part of the group. I thought I was a hologram. I didn't know anything.
Right. And I remember when we were working, when we were recording, Wally Burr, the director of Gem, who's, oh my God, he's directed a million different things, Transformers, G.I. Joe, he's an incredible director. So to get to work with him on my very first animated project was just epic.
Yeah.
But he would always tell us, keep it real. We want you guys to be their friends. They're gonna. We can't have you sound cartoony. So it was always emphasized that we needed to sound like real kids, and I think we did. And I think that's probably why it has this tone, even though there's so much over the top campy stuff, of course, like ridiculousness, which is so much fun. But we delved into like some really pretty intense stuff. I mean, the cartoon opens with a funeral, like what?
Yeah.
Death of a parent and just all of this kind of stuff. Yeah.
But I think you guys did a phenomenal job in the entire program, just from, like you said, it starts off with the funeral, and I mean really heavy, hot topics, but taking it down a notch to where children can relate to it. That was key.
Yeah, it was. And bravo to Christy Marks. I mean, Christy Marks, how incredible. The show would not have happened without Christy and her genius. And, I love also that that I guess everything wasn't like hyper focused grouped to death. That all the creative people were hired, and then they were just allowed to do what they needed to do. They were allowed to use their talents and create this great show. I'm sure she hit some walls with Hasbro. There were some things I know she wanted to do that she couldn't, but for the most part, they allowed the show to just delve into some really great stuff. And you mentioned earlier, which I love too, there was always like Gem and her sisters were, when they performed, it was usually for a higher purpose. It was like they were throwing a benefit because somebody was losing their mansion or losing their, ski resort. And so they were always up to trying to do something that was bigger than themselves, which was a great message.
Definitely. So for you, maybe, I'm not sure if this happened while the series was going on or maybe a little bit afterwards, but when did it hit you that Gem was a little bit bigger than just this cartoon that kids were watching?
Honestly, I didn't get the full scope of it until probably, it's really only been over the past 10 years, to be honest with you, to see the levity of it, because there was no social media back then. So, I would get fan letters. People would send me fan letters to my agent and that type of thing, but and it did really well in the Nielsen's ratings. We were like the top 3 shows with G.I. Joe and Transformers. But as far as like really seeing how it was connecting with kids, like there was no way really to take that temperature. And now I'm meeting all the kids as adults and getting to, it's like my reward all these years later. It's so incredible. It's like, oh my gosh, hello 5-year-old that now has a 5-year-old and is turning your child on to Gem. Like, hi, I didn't get to meet you when you were little, but it's just been so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hearing like the real stories.
Yes, I think that it's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Gem
has
just
an incredible reach.
Before. Yes. before social media. I mean, it was huge. It was so big.
I know.
Including,
like no
all
internet.
the merchandising and everything. No internet,
Yeah.
none of that. And it still has, I mean, that's enhanced the brand. And, into going into, that they just had the Gem movie that, came out last year. What was that like for you to go through and watch that?
It was, well, I mean, just the fact that they even got greenlit to do a movie was pretty incredible. I had always believed in Gem because I don't know, there's something with Gem that is, it really, fans have a real emotional connection to it. Like, that's what I've really been so floored by, that a lot of kids have had not so great childhoods, and Gem was something that the only thing they looked forward to, and the only thing that kind of got them through and gave them courage and that type of thing. And so I always was like, this is a really special show, and I wouldn't be surprised if down the road something started to come back, because I'm meeting all these fans from all over the world. And, of course, my mom is my biggest fan, and so she always loves to tell people, hey, do you remember Gem? This is my daughter. She's, Gem. And so, inevitably, it's like you walk into a total random place, and suddenly there are, like, 5 or 10 people around you going, oh, my God, Gem. So we've experienced that so much, and so it wasn't surprising. It's a long answer to your question, but I was surprised, but at the same time, I wasn't surprised to see the movie come out. And, so that was pretty incredible.
Definitely. So hopefully, like I said, you guys listening out there doing the downloads, and everybody that's live, I see some 404s, I see some Atlanta numbers online listening. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Samantha Newark. Yes, the voice of the infamous Gem cartoon that us 80s babies just absolutely loved. And such a thrill.
I'm kind of jealous of you guys because I have a whole, like, I didn't get to be a kid and grow up with Gem, and being that I was a singer, like, I would have gone bonkers for this show. I know I would have, but obviously I'm thrilled to have my own unique experience at Gem, but in a way I'm like,
absolutely.
God, amazing.
That would have been so cool. But you know what?
Yeah.
You're in a place to where you've helped set that precedent for us 80s babies and beyond. So that's even a bigger honor. To have
such
you
an honor.
to actually be the first. It is amazing. And I mean, I never in a thousand years
pinch myself
ever think
sometimes.
I know. I'm pinching myself now. I'm like, I'm talking to Gem. What's up? So very awesome.
I got to meet the voice of Scooby-Doo when I was doing Gem, so I understand, because I grew up watching Scooby-Doo, and I remember Wally Burr one day was like, "You won't stick around for like 10 minutes or something? The voice of Scooby-Doo is coming in to do a session." No way!
I'm like, oh my gosh, Scooby-Doo.
That's a dream. So cool.
It is. Well, you've definitely, you've stood the test of time, beyond Gem. We love and appreciate you and honor you for that. But you've also kind of moved on and forward to doing your own thing in music. And I want to talk a little bit about that, I wouldn't necessarily say transition, but that new venture, because it probably was a little bit new. I don't know if you were still kind of doing voiceover stuff as Gem kind of ended and you jumped into music. What was that transition like?
Yeah, the transition was weird. I think some people fared better than I did, but it's hard to serve 2 masters, and it required me going on like tons and tons of auditions, and at the same time I'm trying to do session work as a singer, and I'm trying to write music, and I started bands, and so at one point something had to give, and when I started to be auditioning for projects up against Alicia Silverstone and Drew Barrymore and people like that, they suddenly gone, what is this voiceover world? This looks pretty amazing. And so a lot of them started to book the jobs that the celebrity thing started to happen, which was a real thing that happened. So I was quite happy at that time to just really focus on my songwriting and but the love of voiceovers never went away. I just I was touring and singing, and I just wrapped up actually a 2-year tour with this incredible Pink Floyd tribute band. We were playing like huge shows, the House of Blues venues, and that was incredible. So, I've never stopped doing music, but I did stop doing voiceovers for a while, and then I've done things intermittently. So, yeah.
Gotcha. So, do you have any current projects, any new projects that we can talk about?
Yes, I'm so excited. I've done 2 albums, like self-released 2 albums already, and I'm working on my 3rd record, which is just going way more into a dance direction, which I love dance music, and so I've just been writing like crazy, and I'm going to be taking some trips to LA in the beginning. Well, it's already the beginning of the year, but like within the next 8 weeks, to start working on my record, like to start actually laying down tracks and recording some stuff. And so I'm excited to get a record out this year. It's been a long time. It's like just the end of 2011, my last album came out, so it's definitely time. And so that's a big focus. And I just did a voiceover for this crazy indie project called HG Chicken in the Chronological Order, and it's with Bobcat Goldthwait, and I play an Illuminati strange person. So it's fun. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. I actually just did the audiobook for this beautiful children's book called Squares Air Pair, and that just became available, and it's on Amazon. It's awesome. I would recommend anybody that has kids to get this book. It's beautiful, and the audio portion of it will be coming out soon. So there's that. So yeah, and I do a ton of shows, so I'm pretty busy all the time, which I love. I'm grateful.
That is, yes, definitely. We love busyness. Busy is good.
Yes,
busy is good.
Yes.
Busy is good. So, from the songwriter's aspect of things, what is your songwriting process like? You know, I've talked with a lot of different artists, and everybody has a different style.
Yeah, it's changed so much. I mean, I've been put in many, many different situations, and I have my preferences for sure. I mean, I think one of the toughest things I ever had to do was I was writing for Warner Telepictures, and I was given a title of a song called See You Never. It's actually on my YouTube channel, the finished product of it, but it was like, hey, here's a title. Now go and write the lyrics. I actually got with the producer, and we worked on the melody and the music, and then he was like, okay, so take this and go write the lyrics, and then we're going to record the vocals tomorrow. I was like, tomorrow? Wow. So I've never had to do like a 24-hour, like, okay, so you're going to have to sing what you write tomorrow, so it better be done. And it was, and I did it, and I can't say it was the most enjoyable. It was very stressful, but it turned out great. And, it was good to have that in my wheelhouse. Like, okay, wow, didn't know I could do that. But my preference in the way that I have been writing is I just write a lot in GarageBand, which is an app on the Mac. And I just create loops and, write melodies and lyrics. And that's usually where my songs start. And then I send them to my producer, and he takes it, obviously, to the next level production-wise. But, yeah, so it's actually been kind of I'm not so much collaborating as much as I used to, because I used to, need guitar players and that type of thing. So I did a lot of collaborative writing in the 90s and early 2000s, but not so much. I wrote everything on my last record myself, and I'm writing pretty much everything on this album myself too, except for there's one song that I'm co-writing. So yeah, so it's fun. I love
awesome
it. I love working with people. But, it's empowering to be able to do stuff yourself. I really enjoy that. So.
Absolutely. Wow, with so much on your plate, Ms. Samantha Newark, you still find time to, show appreciation to your fans, and I see that you make your rounds to these cons all over.
Yes,
What
Oh my
is
God,
that
what an
like for
amazing
you?
world. I just love, like, who knew this world even existed? My first one I ever did was, I got invited to a Star Wars convention in, like, 2004, and it was, like, 20,000 stormtroopers and me, and I just was like,
wow.
like, why would they have me here? But then, obviously, the people that grew up with Star Wars grew up with Jem, and it was just awesome. It was so much fun. And then I was really getting the one-on-one connection with the fans that I'd never had before, face to face, you know, hearing their amazing stories and what Jem meant to them. And so that has just been one of the most incredible, it's just been amazing. And I'm thrilled anytime I get invited to go, because I just meet the most amazing people. Some have become my dearest, closest friends, you know. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's fun too, you know. It's like, let your freak flag fly. Like, everybody there is welcome to, like, express themselves in whatever way makes them happy. And I'm such an advocate for just be who you are, and you know, if you want to express yourself as you know, because half of the things in the pop culture, I don't even know what they are. It just changes so quickly. I'm just like,
I know.
What are you? You know?
Yeah.
Video
That's
games.
definitely awesome.
So much stuff that I don't even know, but yeah, pretty incredible.
It's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. I can't keep up with it myself.
I know. It kind of makes you feel old sometimes. You're like, I don't know what. I know your costume's epic, but I have no idea what you are. But they, like, make them themselves. That's what I've seen, these incredible Transformers costumes that are like 9 feet tall, and they have to come through the service entrance, and they're all like lit up with robotic voices, and they've made this thing, and I'm just like, it leaves me speechless sometimes. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. So, Samantha, with your career just spanning over, you know, the test of time and just the different aspects of the entertainment world that you've experienced, what advice would you offer to any new? Because it's a completely different beast now from when you started, and some would arguably say that it may be a little bit tougher now that we're opened up with social media and everything else. But for you, what advice would you offer to any new up and coming talent that wants to do voiceover work, but they also have a passion for music?
I would say obviously follow your heart. If it's something that lights you up and makes you a happy human being, then I would absolutely encourage that. But also, it is a business, and it's highly, highly, highly competitive. So you can't walk into it blind. I mean, if somebody that is wanting to get into the voiceover world, I would definitely say, get into some sort of class, workshop, hopefully in a city that's, if you're in Iowa somewhere, it might be a little more difficult to find, classes that are amazing as you would in New York or LA or Texas or wherever, where the hubs are. But yeah, just, you have to know your craft and learn your craft, and you have to make a lot of mistakes, and you have to do a lot of stuff for free. And that's okay. I mean, that's how you learn, and and humility, I think, is huge, because I don't know, I don't think we ever stop learning, and I think that you have to be teachable. You have to know your worth, but you also have to be teachable, and there I think lays the humility, and it's strange to me. I think that the people that I've met that are the most successful are the least braggadocious. They are the most humble. Their talent just speaks for themselves. They don't need to run around being an idiot about it. So, I don't know. It works for some people, but I find the people that are really successful are that way. And and just it's a tough business for sure, and you have to have a passion for it, and you have to love it, and you just have to hang in there. I mean, it's also like, what I'm really getting after being in this industry for such a long time, it's not so much about getting there. It is a journey. It is like your experience with different human beings and pursuing your craft. And half the magic is like in in the inspired getting up one more day to like go pound the pavement. I mean, there's a real beauty in that, and to not miss that, you know, to embrace that and not let the defeats destroy you, and you know, just keep getting back up.
Yes,
getting back
definitely.
up. All I can say is you will get knocked down. You will get knocked down.
Many of times. You know,
many times.
You just got to keep going. That's the only
You
thing.
do.
That's really the only option that you have. Do not stop.
Yeah, and keep your circle real small, and just your most trusted people that have your back, and and just don't quit. And you know, and it's also like I've met some people that, you know, obviously they want the voiceover for maybe the wrong reasons. They want celebrity basically, and if that's why you're in it, you know, it's I don't know.
It's not going to work. It's probably not going to work out in your favor.
No,
it's not going to work out.
Yeah, there needs to be a little bit of some levity behind it. So yeah, and I wish everybody the best on the journey, because it's an incredible journey, and I wouldn't trade any of it. As hard as it's been and as amazing as it's been, it's a pretty awesome ride. My life is unique.
Yeah.
You know, I'll look back when I'm 95, God willing, and be like, what a crazy freaking ride that was. That was epic. That was unusual and strange and beautiful and difficult and all of those things. And it was awesome. You know, it wasn't mediocre.
It was. No, nothing was going to go.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Samantha Newark. Oh, I just have to say thank you. It's been an honor speaking with you today. Let everybody know how they can follow you. If they're not already stalking you, they need to be. It is the business, okay? But let everybody know how they can find you.
Yeah, just SamanthaNewark.com. And if you can't remember my name, just type in Gem and the Holograms, and you'll find me. I have pink hair, actually. So, look at the girl with the pink hair. That's me. But yeah, my website has my Instagram, my Facebook, my music, that's like a portal to all my social media things, and my guest book, and I love to, most of the time I'm adminning my own pages, you know, unless it's super, super crazy. So I love hearing from your fans, and, you know, if you write me, I will do my best to write you back, and I love hearing from them, so don't be shy.
Definitely. Well, Samantha, you look fabulous. You're an incredible, insightful person. We've taken so much just by your example.
You're so kind. Thank you.
I've been in and out of the industry for a little bit of a minute. Started off in acting, did a little modeling, did a little voiceover stuff, and now I'm hosting. Now I'm emceeing gigs. People are hiring me on the spot.
You're really bloody good at what you do, by the way. You're really great at what you do. This has been awesome, and you go, girl.
You didn't, do anything underhanded. You did everything by the book, and it just goes to show when you're honest and your talent, and you believe in yourself, it can happen. It may not be overnight. It may not.
No,
be
definitely not overnight.
Or next week. But you got to keep
you don't have to
keep
your clothes off. You don't have to.
Thank you.
I mean, if you want to, you can. But that was never my journey. But you don't have to sell your soul. You can have integrity, and you can. You can. I just see so many people just sort of compromising themselves in ways that they. It's sad. It's sad. It's one way of doing it, and there are some really huge, famous people, talented people that have. That's in their road, but you don't have to.
Definitely. So thank you for being that inspiration to so many young people just across the board. You're awesome, and you're just a delight. I mean, it's just like, it's like I've been talking, like we've been friends for the last 20 years or something. You're just really just an awesome, down-to-earth person, and I'm just thankful that we were able to connect, and I definitely will be, watching and looking for stuff on SamanthaNewark.com.
Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. It was lovely chatting with you.
Definitely. But you enjoy the rest of your
truly
evening.
outrageous.
And absolutely, there's no other way to be.
So I guess I can close out my part and just say to the fans, show's over, Synergy.
Perfect. Samantha Newark, you guys go follow her across social media. Check out SamanthaNewark.com. Thank you so much, Sam. I will see you in cyber world.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.